All right. We are live. All right. Thursday night. We are live. I'm back home from New Orleans. We had a fun trip. It was fun. I like New Orleans. It was the first time that I have ever been to New Orleans, and it was quite fun. I wasn't anticipating that kind of fun, but it was fun. Anyway, so what are we talking about tonight? I have been totally inspired these last couple weeks by several people. And I thought that it was a good time to share it with you guys because it pertains to families, it pertains to contribution, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to tell you how I sort of came about this topic. I would say it's one of those things that you feel passionately about, maybe you even argue with people about. It's maybe we could call it a hot button. It's a trigger. It's some people, it's political. You know, it can be any number of things that really sort of get your motor racing. And last night there was an interesting sort of conversation back and forth on Facebook as it pertained to the take a knee. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not in really one particular corner or the other. I hadn't chimed in on any of it. I only chimed in on that as it was relating, as it was relating to the Constitution and the law. And I just only know that kind of stuff because of Joe or whatever. But anyway, it just got into this conversation. And you know, people get very, very heated, and I totally get that because I personally have buttons and things that get pushed for me that I understand when it happens for other people. But anyway, so the conversation sort of went the following, you know, it was sort of like, no, it's this way, no, it's this way, no, it's this way. And I was really just talking about it from a legal perspective. That was really all. And then it started, you know, when we started to dive into it deeper, what I said was, unfortunately, what happened, hi Jada, happy birthday, honey. I know I've said it 100 times today, but you can never have too many birthday wishes. Anyway, so the thing is with the whole take a knee, and someone may disagree with what I'm saying, that I feel like the message of Black Lives Matters got lost. I feel like it's turned into a, you know, freedom of speech conversation and things like that. And then even about Trump and whatever. And I feel like it just totally got away from the original purpose. And I understand that it brings awareness because everyone's discussing it. And that's true. But no one's really discussing the original reason. So that's what made me think about these things, because my mantra is be the change. Be the change. So if you know, if Black Lives Matter, and, you know, to me, taking the knee got lost in the anthem because there was so much controversy surrounding it. So my whole point was, why don't people find maybe a better way to change that whole conversation? What is it that you want to change? And I don't mean this in any way, shape, or form to get political, because it's not meant to. I'm using this as an example because I was discussing it last night. And so to me, it's about really, what do you want? You want maybe the police to treat people differently, maybe education, things like that you want shooting to stop. You want killings to stop. That's the end goal, right? So for me, I feel like, let's put together an action plan. That's what I do. I am an action kind of girl. So that's why I say why don't we step into action here? So that's what I wanted to talk about tonight, because I think that it's so important, and people really do have an opinion about many things, not just Black Lives Matter. I mean, everybody has, as I said, a hot button. But what is it that you do with that? How do we sort of shift our passions into something that is going to be the change? That's what I wanted to talk about tonight. So I have an example. Two of my dear friends, Simona and Tanja, Tanja's from Puerto Rico, and her family is fine after the hurricane. But her country, not her country, well, it's, you know, now part of the United States, what do they call it? I don't even know. I was reading about it, what it's called, but province, no. Whatever. Anyway, obviously everybody knows the problems that are happening in Puerto Rico. And this was actually the very first thing to inspire me to talk about this, was the immediate action that these women took was astonishing. I mean, astonishing. Nobody sat around and talked about the horseshit that went on in Puerto Rico, what's still going on in Puerto Rico. It was like, girl, I don't have time to be talking about the bullshit that's happening. We need to help these people. And that is exactly what they did. And they started, I mean, immediately after the hurricane, they started an entire organization that has just sprouted into something all of its own that is just so unbelievable. So Tanja immediately started asking for donations, and her house was the dropping point for so many people. Oh, thank you, Karen. So many people. She had people coming in, delivering all kinds of goods and things. And then what did she do? She went and found somebody who donated their private jet and said, I will give you 3 runs down to Puerto Rico. He ended up apparently, I think, if I'm not mistaken, giving them 5 runs on the plane. And she was a collection site, and she packed her car up, dropped it off to the plane, took the plane down to Puerto Rico, and then went into not where her family was from, went into the poorest sections, the places that nobody was getting to. That is where they've gone. So they did 5 runs with nothing but goods and supplies. And they were taking monetary donations. They were taking all kinds of goods, you know, diapers, food for dogs, everything. And it was so unbelievable to me to see the massive action that they took in such a ridiculously short amount of time. They said they are already phasing into their second stage, where it's going to be all monetary, and they are planning on giving grants. Now with the money that they raise, they are going to be giving grants to small business owners on the island of Puerto Rico to help them get back up and running. I mean, seriously? Are you joking me? These bitches know how to make it happen. And it was just amazing to me. And so that's what I mean when I say be the change. And you can do this in your family. If things are not going the way that you want, start with yourself. Start with yourself. Be the change. Are your children not listening? Yes, there are so many strategies that we can talk about to do that. But you know what? You have to change the way that you are handling this. And, you know, I think one of the things that we as parents always want, we want our children to be well-rounded. We want them to volunteer. You know, what do we do? What do we do to show our children